Hi Taurus, welcome to Magpie Moonchild. My name is Kayleigh. This is a weekly read, general weekly read for the 15th to the 21st. I looked up at my calendar then in case you wondered where my eyes went. I've changed direction a little bit for the setup because twofold. I'm moving my room around. I need it to do other things now. So what it is, not tarot. It's still saying tarot. There are other things that I need this room to do. And I thought it'd be really nice to see the cards a little bit. Even if you can't see the cards directly, but you can see them laid on the table. Sometimes I find that really nice to be able to see what's going on. Rather than just me talking to you like this at a slightly different angle. So yeah, let's get down to it. All the housekeeping stuff, decks I'm using and stuff is all down below. I see actually a lot of joy and freedom this week. Taurus, I nearly said Capricorn and Scorpio all at once. Scorpicorn. So I don't know if you're involved with a Scorpio or a Capricorn, but let's see what we've got going forward. But yeah, it's a lot of freedom, and maybe it's freedom from a Capricorn or freedom from a Scorpio. Do you know what I mean? Like, it's just sheer joy and enjoyment and pleasure this week. So let's see what we've got for you. That's just what comes through in the pre-shuffle. Let's see what we've got in the read for you, Taurus. What have we got for Taurus? 7 of Wands, obstacles. There are obstacles and defensiveness. Obstacles and defensiveness. 2 of Wands, making plans. Okay. There's some sort of travel or move that you're planning, and at the moment you are facing so many obstacles that you feel like you have to get over. The fact that you had the sun coming out on the bottom of the deck, like more than one occasion when I was shuffling the cards, would suggest to me that these are going to be overcome. So if an obstacle comes out, do the research, make a plan of how you're going to get over that obstacle. That's what I'm getting. You can get over anything this week. That's why you're making the plans, right? You're already preempting issues that are going to come up. I'm really getting that this issue coming up is going to be somebody around the situation, possibly that Capricorn or Scorpio person, but we'll see. Or maybe they're the person to help you. Maybe they'll surprise you. Who knows? Right, let's see. What have we got? 7 of Swords. Deceit, trickery, secrets. Also, right, I have the 7 of Swords, although it's secrets and deceit, right, that just went in like, no, Kayleigh. It's a case of tenacity is the 7 of Swords for me. I mean, you've got the raccoon. I don't know why they keep putting the poor raccoon as tenacity. The raccoon and the fox. But both, I don't know if like the fox, the raccoon is like the fox of the American of the American continent, but the fox in our culture is tenacity, cunning, slyness, sneakiness. Yeah, they raid bins. I'm not very aware of raccoons, to be honest. So don't they raid bins? I swear I've seen that somewhere, that they raid bins. But we overtook their environment basically, and what they're doing is adaptability. You know what I mean? Tenacity to adapt to a new environment. Somebody's invaded their space and they're still surviving in that environment. And I really feel like this is what's going on with you at the moment. Like, something has impacted your environment, and you've kind of survived that happening. So I don't know if this is like something from your formative years impacted the environment that you had, that you want to be in now. But you will find a way around it. And like I said, tenacity is finding a way around. Like I just said, like, something will come up, you will find a way around it. Just plan a way around it. You are capable of, instinctively, you'll know what you need to do to get around these issues. You know that it's overcome. So I don't know if somebody around you is in this place of, oh, it's never going to happen. It is going to happen. There's just things you've got to get over. Let's see what else we've got. What else have we got for Taurus with regards to this? So you have, the Queen of Swords and the King of Swords. This could very well be, but by the way, if you're arachnophobic, there's a spider about to come up. I will show this card once and I'll tell you when it's gone. I'm about to show it now. So we have the King of Swords and the Queen of Swords. The King of Swords is wise. The Queen of Swords is also wise, but she's more instinctive. The spider's gone now. You don't have to look at it. It's not lost on me that this is an instinct and mental exercise, because I think you've already discovered your emotional feels around this change, whatever it is you're trying to bring in. You already know from a practical sense of view, like, I think you know you can afford it. You can physically, materially make it happen. And I think emotionally, you know it's the best thing for you. You've already wrangled through that. What you're coming up against is other, possibly legal or like things that are out of your control. So it's causing mental anguish between the two of you. The Queen of Swords obviously had the spider on it. So that is about spinning webs, building, creating her environment, right? She builds, she survives. She knows that she spins this web and things will come to her. She knows that sometimes things are out of her control. But if she puts her web up and she has everything she needs prepared, the fly will come in and get caught and she will be able to eat. She knows, it's wisdom. She knows that if she does everything she can, she is more than prepared for the universe to deliver what she needs. You have done, and again, the King of Swords is the owl. It's wisdom. He knows when to hunt. He hunts at night, but he doesn't exert energy that isn't necessary. It isn't productive. He chases the mouse when he knows he has to chase the mouse, and he knows that he will catch that mouse because that's what he was born to do. And it's about having the wisdom of knowing when to act and when not to act. And I think a lot of these is, okay, we need to act, we can get over it. And you're very logical. You and your partner, if this is to do with you and a partner, are both very logical. You know that you've done everything you can. You just kind of have to wait. There is a real element of waiting, obstacles coming up, but nothing that can't be overcome with a bit of tenacity and a bit of thinking. Possibly you don't even have to do anything. It will resolve itself. It's very much about only exerting energy if it's going to benefit you, which again is the Seven of Swords. You know, they only raid a bin when they have to because they're hungry. Do you know what I mean? They survive in the natural environment. Normally they wouldn't be raiding bins, would they? They'd have everything they need, the resources they need. They overcome that by being tenacious and raiding a bin, which is inconvenient for us because we're like, oh, that's disgusting, they're vermin. They're not, they're animals. They're doing what they have to do to survive. So in this situation, in order to keep it going, you're going to be very resourceful, but you're going to know what resources to bring in, because the King and the Queen think people do things for them. So a lot of it is going to be out of your control. You need this to happen. And yes, you can say, well, why haven't you acted on this? Why isn't this doing? Can we have an update? But you know very well you've done everything you can do. You've bought the resources, right? Financially, you know that your house is worth X and you need to sell that, and then you can go and buy that, or you have a plan in place to overcome buying that in the future. Do you know what I mean? Like, oh, well, maybe we can live with someone and save a bit extra to have a bigger deposit in order to buy a bigger house. Yes, it's a temporary thing to overcome, but the greater vision to the future, we know there's a way around it. There's a way around whatever you need to do. You can make anything happen. This is just legalities or technicalities that you need to use your brain or your instincts to get over. You know when to apply you know when to apply your energy and when not to. Also, if you are dealing with people, you're going to be very, I want to, the word loquacious come out. I don't know why that was coming out of my mouth. That wasn't my direct thought. You're going to be very capable of talking to people, explaining things to people, making them see your point of view without exerting any anger or issues. You're going to be very calm dealing with people. I really feel like somebody has got to, you're almost like there's a relationship around you. This is not your direct relationship. If you're moving, there's somebody around you in your extended family that they give you a headache. I literally got a headache there as I was talking about them. They are so heavy on you. And I say that because you've got this Nine of Wands. I don't know if on some element that this move is because there's like this berry here, right? And the mouse is doing what it can to get the berry on the end because it needs feeding. Again, tenacity. It just feels like this move, because I'm really getting that it's to do with a house move, and it's a move out of area is really what I'm getting. It just feels like this move is almost getting away from somebody. Like, you just don't thrive where you are right now. The environment you're in right now, you're not thriving. You're surviving, not thriving. And that's the difference between where you are now and where you want to move to. So I don't know if you're moving towards a support network, if you've moved away, if you live away, or if you're moving away from family because the environment you're in right now is toxic. But something about where you are now is surviving, not thriving. And that is the difference. But it's almost like, because this card has come up, like it's just one more battle, it almost feels to me like you are moving away from something as much as you are gaining something by this move. And it's just something that's taken its toll on you, and you just do not have the energy to keep battling with it anymore. Like, it's just not worth your effort to keep trying to make that work with this person. So I don't know if it's like a family member or somebody around you, a family friend around you. Although if they're a family friend, why the fuck haven't you cut them out? Sorry, I hate to swear, but why haven't you cut them out already? It's a bit harder with family to cut them out, but equally they are your family, but that doesn't mean they have the right to keep battering you and be toxic around you. So by this move, I really feel like you're moving from somewhere where you are like getting through at the moment, and that's great, but you want to go somewhere where you can enjoy life, right? Things are more laid back, less pressure, less people around you that aren't conducive to your environment of making you grow, and it just feels like this is what you're chasing, right? The food, something nutritious, something that's going to help you thrive. I mean, there's more than one berry there. The mouse only needs one berry to survive, but there's like 3 there. Do you know what I mean? Like, well, that's 3 meals instead of 1 that I've got to worry about. Do you know what I mean? It's like there's so much to gain by doing this move, and I really get that energy, but somebody around you isn't. And I kind of get that that's kind of why this sneakiness is there. And it's not that you're being sneaky, it's just that this person doesn't need to know until it's happening, is really what I'm getting. It's none of their business until it happens. And it's almost like it's like this is going to be an epic battle. This is also my once more into the fray. And it's like, you know that as soon as you tell them, it's just going to be, you're going to have to be defensive about it, because you're going to have to defend your position, because you just know they're going to come at you attacking, because that's how it always is, right? And you're like, do you know what? This is once more into the fray. Like, this battle, what happens when I tell you this news is how our relationship is defined from here on in. Like, if I tell you that I'm moving, are you going to be supportive and enjoy a relationship with us, like ongoing? Or are you just going to be a complete butthole about it? I was about to say something swearing. I'm really trying not to swear on my channel. Are they going to be that person about it? And if so, all that's going to do is mean that you're just going to cut them out. This is literally their last chance to be supportive or not be in it. You're either in or you're out with this decision of how you react to our news that we're moving. And the fact that you haven't told them speaks to me volumes of, like, they weren't involved in the planning, because you knew that and it's always going to be in a position from them that, well, what about me? This isn't fair on me. It's not about them, it's your life. So please, please, please make sure that you're making this decision and you have it all good to go, because this person, if this is why you're moving, I really get why you're moving away from it. Because that's something you survive. You don't thrive when someone's going, well, what about me? They're not, and I'm getting a parent, but when it's about them, it's not about you. And that's not what you do when you unconditionally love someone. You want someone to have joy and happiness, and you want them to thrive. You don't want them to be around you surviving. You want them to, if it means that they have to move away, what is it they say? If you love something, let it go. That is this situation. If they love you, they would let you go, and they would come and visit, right? They would come and visit wherever it is you're living. If they love you, then you will travel. And because you're apart, because I grew up away from my grandparents, some of my grandparents, when we were together, because we lived apart, when we were together, it was memories. I remember those moments. I had one set of grandparents that were there pretty much all the time. They lived near us. And then we had grandparents that lived away. And I knew I was loved by both. So please don't think that I'm saying this as a sense of like, I don't feel loved by both of them. The one that I live near, she's with me all the time, right? She looks over me. I want to cry. Like, she knows that I'm grateful. But my nan that lived away from me, every time we went, it was so special. Like, she would make sure we had Rice-A-Cores in, because that was our favourite cereal when we visited. She knew that she had to give me a serving of gherkins or of pickled onions, because that's, I go nuts. Literally, I've eaten a jar of gherkins like in the last 48 hours because I just love them. It's not like, but that was my favourite thing. She'd make sure there was strawberries and apple juice in, because, and this is what I mean, there are things that, but I cannot tell you what my nan and granddad that lived near me all the time did all the time, because it was constant. Do you know what I mean? It's little acts of love that are constant. So what I'm saying to you is, because I spent time with this grandparent and it was these sets of grandparents and it was constant, it's not that it's less memorable, it's just because well, it was less memorable, but that's not, doesn't mean that I in any way doubt that I was loved. It's not that. This is constant consistency. Do you know what I mean? They're constantly in your life. But my other grandparent, because we only saw them like twice a year for like a week, it was all the more special. She took those moments to lavish us. Do you know what I mean? We made memories, because that's all the time we have. Because that's all the time you have, those moments, you make them count. is what I'm trying to get to. So if they care about you, they will travel and they will make the memories of whether you come to see them or they go to see you. Oh my God, you will do things and spend quality time together, because that's all the time you have. When time is precious and limited, we make more of it. We make sure it's more special. So don't think that if you have children and you're taking them away from a grandparent in proximity, that they are going to feel any less loved, because they will know they're loved whether they are right near you. Like, I knew I was loved by my grandparents. They took me to the park for ice cream. I remember that. I remember the slide that we went on, because that was a precious moment. I saw them like every couple of weeks. It wasn't like, but I remember them taking me to the ice cream because that was a very special moment. And obviously I loved the ice cream. I don't eat ice cream, but I'll eat that ice cream even now. But I also remember my grandparent going to see my nan and how much of a fuss she made when we were around. So it's not about proximity. It's about what you do with the time you have together. It's how the love is bestowed. It's how the memories are made. It's how much I knew I was loved either way. Love doesn't know distance. So whoever this person is, I really get your decision to move away from them, or why they weren't involved in the decision making, because I think they're really going to have their nose put out of joint that they weren't consulted on anything, especially if you're if this is like their parent or your parent, and they're not consulted, that's what they're going to have their nose out about. And the fact that you're moving towards another parent, possibly, it's like, I get it. I get it, because I have to be very political in how I talk about both sets of parents. Like, I can't say that I naturally live nearer one than the other, just because of literal physical proximity at the moment. And even when I was physically in proximity to another parent, closer physically, I have a different relation. Do you know what I mean? Like, I have to be very political how I talk about my in-laws to my own parents, because if I'm too caring about, it's very confusing, but if I'm caring too much about the other parents, I feel like that's political, because, yeah, I get it. I get that you have to try and balance the two. Like, you can't talk too much about another pet set of parents, because the other ones are like, well, because you're being positive about that parent doesn't mean that this one is any more negative. Do you know what I mean? That doesn't automatically negate this other set of parents. It's just whoever this set is, they seem to really think that because you're praising them, that must mean that you hate them. There's no dichotomy. You don't have to love because you love one, hate the other. That's not it. That's not how the world works. You can love both. You can think both are great in different ways. And it's almost like this set of parents doesn't get that. Because you praise them, that must automatically mean you hate them, or they're not doing it. And that's really not how the world works. And if that's how they're doing it, then I get why this is a survival situation, not a thriving one. So yeah, that's conditional love, right? That you love them above everybody else. That's not how the world works. But anyway, I hope that has been of some help for you, Taurus. Yeah, they're not aware. This other person isn't aware until you tell them the finer details, and then they'll be pissed off they weren't involved in the planning, but that's on them, not you. There's a reason. The real question is, like, the question they're asking you is the question they should be asking themselves, which is, why didn't I know until now? Why wasn't I involved? Do you know what I mean? What they're saying to you is what they should be asking themselves. Well, why weren't you involved? Oh, why did we feel like we couldn't share that information with you? Oh, until now. Oh yeah, why couldn't you? They need to have it shot back at them, like, why didn't I tell you I was moving until now? Because you'd have thrown this crap at me. This was inevitable. Whatever they're throwing at you was inevitable. That's why you put it off until you knew things were happening and you knew you were getting out of there, right? I really get that, Taurus. I hope that is of some help to you. Hopefully I'll see you again next week. Bye for now.